The bridge of the Vanguard hummed with the usual symphony of deep space operations, the soft beeping of navigation systems, the whisper of life support, and the occasional murmur of crew members monitoring their stations. Commander Kendall stood at the observation deck, her dark eyes fixed on the endless expanse of stars beyond the reinforced viewport. 3 years since humanity had sent the colonial fleet beyond the Kuiper Belt, searching for habitable worlds in the outer reaches of the galaxy. Commander Lieutenant Roman's voice cut through her thoughts, urgent and strained. "You need to see this." Kendall turned sharply, her boots clicking against the metal floor as she approached the sensor station. Roman's face was pale, his fingers dancing across the holographic display with increasing speed. The young officer had been with the fleet since its launch, and she'd never seen him rattled like this. "What is it?" she asked, leaning over his shoulder. "Long-range sensors picked up something," Roman said, pulling up a three-dimensional render of local space. A small blip pulsed on the edge of their detection range, roughly 2 million kilometers away. "At first I thought it was debris or maybe an asteroid, but—" He hesitated, his jaw tightening. "The signature is wrong, Commander. It's metal, composite alloys, and the configuration." He zoomed in, and Kendall's breath caught in her throat. The vessel's silhouette was unmistakable human design, specifically a Mark 7 exploration frigate. But that was impossible. The colonial fleet represented humanity's first and only venture this far into deep space. There were no other human ships out here. There couldn't be. "Run a full diagnostic on the sensors," Kendall ordered, her voice steady despite the ice forming in her chest. "This could be a glitch." "Already did, ma'am. 3 times. Roman looked up at her, and she saw the fear in his eyes. "It's real. And there's more. The vessel is broadcasting." "Broadcasting what?" Roman's fingers trembled as he activated the audio feed. Static crackled through the bridge speakers. Then a voice emerged, human, distorted, desperate, to any colonial fleet vessels. "This is the Prometheus. Critical systems failure. Life support at 17%. If anyone can hear this." The message looped, the same words repeating over and over. Kendall felt her stomach twist. The Prometheus had been lost 40 years ago, long before the colonial fleet had even been conceived. It had been part of the failed First Wave program, a classified mission that had ended in disaster. According to official records, all ships and crew had been presumed destroyed. "Get me Admiral Chen," Kendall said quietly. Now, within minutes, the entire fleet was in uproar. The discovery of the Prometheus rippled through the ships like a shockwave, igniting debates and panic in equal measure. Some claimed it was a trap, possibly alien technology mimicking human vessels. Others insisted it was a ghost ship, a derelict that should be avoided at all costs. But beneath the fear and speculation lay a more disturbing question. If the Prometheus had survived out here for 40 years, what had happened to its crew? Admiral Chen convened an emergency council aboard the flagship Horizon. Kendall sat at the long conference table, surrounded by the fleet's senior officers. The holographic projection of the Prometheus rotated slowly at the center of the table, its hull scarred and pitted from decades of micrometeorite impacts. "We have to investigate," Kendall argued, her voice firm. "That ship could have critical data, navigation charts, resource locations, information about what's out here. We can't just ignore it. It's been drifting for 40 years, Captain Morrison countered, his weathered face etched with concern. "Whatever's on that ship, it's not going to help us. And if there's even a chance it's contaminated or booby-trapped, we're explorers," Kendall interrupted. "This is what we do. We investigate the unknown." Admiral Chen raised a hand, silencing the debate. The elderly commander had led the colonial fleet through countless crises, and his word was final. "Commander Kendall makes a valid point. We'll send a small reconnaissance team. Minimal risk, maximum intelligence gathering." His gaze settled on Kendall. "Commander, you'll lead the mission. Select your team and prepare for departure within 6 hours." Kendall chose her crew carefully: Lieutenant Roman for his technical expertise, Dr. Sarah Voss from medical research, and 2 security officers. As their shuttle detached from the Vanguard and streaked toward the Prometheus, Roman monitored the derelict vessel's systems. "The hull's intact," he reported, "but I'm reading massive energy fluctuations from the reactor core. Whatever's keeping that distress signal running, it's drawing power from somewhere." As they approached, the Prometheus loomed larger, its once gleaming hull now a patchwork of corrosion and makeshift repairs. Someone had been maintaining this ship, keeping it alive against all odds. They docked at the main airlock, and Kendall felt her pulse quicken as the outer door cycled open. The interior was dark, lit only by their helmet lamps and the occasional flicker of emergency lighting. The air was thin but breathable, the temperature barely above freezing. "Spread out," Kendall ordered. "Look for the bridge and engineering. I want to know what happened here." Roman headed for the ship's data core while Kendall made her way to the bridge. The corridors were eerily silent, lined with personal effects photographs, handwritten notes, small tokens of a crew that had once lived and worked here. But there were no bodies, no signs of violence or disaster. The bridge was in surprisingly good condition. Kendall approached the captain's chair and noticed a tablet resting on the armrest. She picked it up, activating the screen. A log entry appeared, dated 3 months ago. Her blood ran cold. Roman, she called over the com. How long has that distress signal been broadcasting? According to the logs, it started 3 months ago. What? Kendall's hand tightened on the tablet. Because someone was alive on this ship 3 months ago. Someone updated this log. Before Roman could respond, alarms shrieked through the Prometheus. Red lights flooded the corridors as the ship's systems suddenly roared to life. Kendall's com exploded with panicked voices, her team reporting movement in the lower decks, doors sealing automatically, life support surging to full capacity. Get back to the shuttle, Kendall shouted. Now, as she ran through the corridors, she heard its footsteps, slow and deliberate, echoing from somewhere deep within the ship. They weren't alone. The Prometheus had been waiting, and now it was awake.